And welcome to week number 2 of the MEA Proto Orca and Touring Car Championship Series. I'm SSR Mayhem, bringing you live action here at Silverstone as we are just about a minute before we kick off this show. So just stay tuned as we prepare for the race. And here we go. We got 23 drivers on the racetrack, 10 of them touring. As we will go through the lineup, starting on the pole position, last week's winner, ESV Scottson, looking to go 2 for 2 on the season already. Starting in that second position, Jim Hydra, changing teammates along with Jim Vettel as well. Right behind them, SSR Bobberts, MRT Jewel, SSR Nicole, RZM Breeze, SSR Shane, RD Jansen, and SSR Numi to round out your A lobby. Protos, Numi got moved up to the A lobby. We had some issues here today with some of the drivers not showing up, and we were trying to fit some open spots for some of the lobbies, which got us a little bit further behind. But starting on the pole position, last week wasn't with us, but got the pole done here today, driving the Mercedes. AMS Mercs will start on the pole. RBM Playhard, RBM Vinny, RBM Stance, they weren't here last week, but I have qualified. They'll start second, third, and fourth, right in their fifth. Last week's winner, SSR Yami, looking to go 2 for 2 on the season. He's got a lot of work to do. RD Gui and AMSB Shadow, 6th and 7th. RD Brito in the 8th spot. He had a good run last week, finishing 7th. 9th will be MEX Zaterra. 10th will be SMJ Yankee, 11th Diamond Man 2014, 12th GRT Let's Fly, and rounding out the field in the 13th spot for the touring cars is SSR Outlaw as he makes his A-Lobby debut in the series. So as we get ready to rock and roll here, we're going to ride with, I think, maybe Jewel to start this one for the Proto group as they get ready to rock and roll. All right, so here we go, getting ready to run this run. It should be an exciting day for racing here at Silverstone. 10 prototypes, 13 touring car drivers making the show here in the main event as ESV Scottson will get ready to lead the field. Last week, MRT Jules' night ended early, but here he is back in racing actions. We'll run along with him at the start of this one. We'll pull up the race map. You can see the difference of the color. Red are prototypes, B is blue, or the touring is blue. As here we go, an hour and a half of racing about to commence, and we are green flag in the air, and ESV Scottson will lead the line here at lap number 1 at Silverstone. And they're off, and just like that, MRT Joel goes to the inside of SSR Bobberts, going into 1 as it goes through turns 2 and 3 now. Joel to the inside of Vettel, trying to make something happen, gives a little bit of a love tap on the back corner panel. Vettel holds on to the inside line, side by side, coming out of the corner. And all the prototype drivers looking real good through lap number 1. Let's get back to that touring car group. Now they're underway. We're riding along with RBM Playhard here as he is now trailing right behind AMS Mercs. RBM Vinny is running in that 3rd spot. We got a battle though back in that 4th position between SSR Yami right now and RBM Stance side by side for 4th and 5th now. Let's get up the race map here. No mistakes by any of the drivers, so we've had a really good start to this one so far. Yami to the inside of Stance, side by side. The the Honda against the Chevy. No mandatory pit stops in this one. And this should be a good one, ladies and gentlemen. We got all different types of cars out there. The Chevy prototypes. We have Chevy, Honda, Mercedes, Audi in the touring car classes. Everybody's running real hot right now here at lap number 1. And it looks like Outlaw got a position for the start of this race against GRT Let's Fly. The 3 top cars right now, AMS Mercs, RBM Playhard, and Vinny, 1, 2, and 3 as they start distancing the field from 4th back. Let's ride up front and see what's going on with the prototype group. Get on 6th place driver. I believe that is RZM Breeze. He's in race action with us here this week as well. And he made a big mistake somewhere, and he's dropped all the way back to 9th. And look at this, Jansen to the inside. SSR Numi is in battle right now. Looks like MRT Jewel, or no, that's SSR Shane back there. So a little bit of battling going on. Let's ride with ESV Scottson, who's currently running in that 2nd spot. We're actually battling for the race lead with Jim Hydra right now. Hydra had a very bad week at Brands Hatch, side by side through the corner. Side by side down the back, the middle straight there. And they're distancing themselves from the field right now. Hydra to the inside of Scottson. Scottson will give up the race lead. It's a long race, and you know Scottson is going to try to be as patient as possible as he's battling with Hydra now. Hydra, your new race leader in the prototype class. And now Vettel starting to distance himself from MRT Jewel. SSR Bobbert's running in that 5th spot right now as he's kind of by himself. He's got SSR Nicole, RZM Breeze, RD Jansen right behind them as well as they go through the S's. Let's drop back though and check out how AMS Mercs is doing as he's been in battles with some of the RBM boys as they're running 2nd and 3rd right now between Playhard and Vinny. We'll pull up the race map here, and you can see how fast those prototypes are moving. They are already halfway across the track, and this is getting really good here early on. And Mercs is starting to distance himself. Let's go back to that 5th place spot with RBM Stance. He's all by himself. Looks like there's a couple of a disconnect here. Let's get with AMSB Shadow as he is in battles with RD Brito. It looks like MEX Satara right behind him as well. Shadow Brito battling for that 7th and 8th spot. GRT Let's Fly and SSR Outlaw battling for 12th. As they're at the tail end of this one. Honda versus Chevy. And a little bit of a touch between those two. Let's move up a little further in this pack. Let's ride along with Diamond Man 2014. He wasn't with us last week. And it looks like Diamond Man working on Zaterp right now, battling for that 9th spot. He looks to the inside of Zaterp. Zaterp gets down low, takes that 9th spot. Let's get on RD Gui, a guy that had a really rough week last week. Ended his race early, had a lot of pace early on, but was not able to capitalize. Said he was having issues within the lobby. And you see those prototypes there on the move right now, and Hydra and Scottson are gone. Let's get on with Scottson right now. Running all by themselves for the lead in a class of their own. "23 drivers on the racetrack right now, 10 in the protos, 13 in the touring cars. Moved up some cars today few of the drivers down in the C lobby for the touring. They made it into the B lobby to fill that void. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. I got a little drive through it there. But it looks like Hydra's really starting to distance himself from Scott's. And meanwhile, Vettel is still struggling to get away from this pack. And look at that. That's SSR Nicole. She's now up to the 4th spot. I'm not sure what happened. The Jewel, he must have made an early mistake. It looks like Bobbers got collected or at least had to slow down. So he's moved back a couple positions now. And I believe 9th and 10th, they're on their own little battle between Shane and Numi, and they're way behind. Not way behind, but they're back there. SSR Nicole and Breeze, I think they're in a battle as well. Let's check that out. SSR Nicole had a decent week last week, up and down race for her, and right now in a really good spot as she's tracking down Jim Vettel. Vettel, who talked about last week, trying to keep the pace with the guys up front. And he didn't have the best qualifying coming into this, but he was happy, obviously to get in that top 3 spot. Looks like a little early mistakes for some of these drivers have cost just a little bit. As you pull up the race map once again, you can see the blue dots. Those are your touring car drivers. Right now, if you're looking at the loop, this is the lineup or the grid order currently for the pros. And after the 10th spot of Shane, now you'll see the blue ones, which will have the touring cars. So that's how you distinguish these two classes on the leaderboard there. And AMS Mercs has really taken off. He's kind of in a class of his own, it looks like, as he's starting to drift away from the other guys. And look at this, RZM Breeze and Nicole doing some battling now, and I'm about to accidentally leave the one battle. It looks like we might have had a disconnect. Not sure what's going on here. And all the touring cars are still in except for one, and I'm not sure who we lost there. We'll have to find out soon. Vinny, no, they're still there. We'll find out here in 1 second as Yankee will go by. And that was RBM Play Hard. And that's very unfortunate. He had a really good pace coming into this one. And they're now into the touring car field. And you see Scottson trying to get all around these guys to keep up with Hydra. Let's get on a race view here and see how it looks on his end. Trying to stick his nose in there. Letting Outlaw know I'm on the outside. Hydra trying to make quick work of the touring cars. He wants to get out of the field. He sees a little bit of a battle going on here. And Scottson and Hydra, they're going through the field right now. Let's get back on a little bit of the touring car group. As you can see, Scottson and Vettel right there, riding with Gui right now in that 5th spot. And it looks like Scottson got to the back of somebody there. And Scottson made a mistake. He got into the back of one of the touring drivers. I wonder if he got any damage from that. Let's go check on him to make sure he's all right. Got the card. And it looks like everything's okay. But he's got a lot of ground to make up now as he lost a ton of time. And here comes the other prototype drivers with him. And Vettel's up there with him now. Yami to the outside, trying to give some space. And RZM Breeze as well, he was coming through. And now they're getting into the lead pack of touring drivers. Vinny just getting out of the way just a little bit there. And Breeze had to really thread the needle there to get around Merckx. And Nicole's coming through the group now as well. She looks like she's making light work of it. She looks like she's got somebody on her back bumper. It looks like RDE Jansen battling for that 5th spot. It looks like RBM Playhard did lag out of this one, which leaves 12 touring cars on the racetrack. The battle for 5th looks really good right now. SSR Bobbers finally getting through the entire touring car group. SSR Shane, he's back there trying to get on by as well. Numi right there in 9th. Joel dropped back to 10th. And does he have damage? No, he made a pit stop, so we'll see how that plays out for him. If we get back, we see 1st and 2nd for Vinny, but it looks like SSR Yami now had caught up to Vinny a little bit. Stance dropped back a position. Let's check on him. He's right there still in the mix. RDE Gui right behind them as well. First time ever for the RBM team competing at MEA for Vinny, Playhard, and Stance. Both weeks qualified for the A group. Last week didn't make the race due to some unfortunate circumstances. Check on AMS B Shadow in this class right now. Driving in 6th right now. Moved up a couple of positions since the start of this one. RDE Burrito, Diamond Man. GRT Let's Fly, he's moved up a few positions since the start of this one. You see MRT Joel trying to come on through the pack. And you see SSR Outlaw, they're looking to put a little pressure on him. These two started with each other. They've been together ever since. Check on some of the guys in the front. AMS Mercs all by himself. Let's get up to that lead group of cars now. Let's see how Nicole and Jansen are doing. Looks like Jansen took over that 5th spot from Nicole. Nicole's dropping her back to 6th. Jansen not having the best week last week. So Jansen able to get on by. Let's go check on Hydra. He's all by himself now. Nobody to worry about on his own. You can see Scottson back there in 2nd, Vettel and Breeze 3rd and 4th, and Breeze is making a little bit of a charge here. And it looks like the battle for 3rd between Stamps and Yami is starting to get pretty good. They're pretty close. Go check on them. Mexiterap has dropped back to 12th after having a decent start in this one. Right now, touring car battle for the 3rd place spot between Yami and Stance is heating up. The Honda with the Chevy right there. And we just got the video evidence of RBM play hard. He literally lagged out and drove through everybody and nobody was on his map. So very unfortunate for the RBM driver, as this battle for third's looking really good between Stance and Yami. Last week, Yami all on his own. Didn't have anybody to worry about throughout the race, and now is in position for another podium. A lot of racing still to go here. We have 3 lobbies again this week, ladies and gentlemen, with 50 to 60, actually 60-plus drivers that that did qualify and were eligible to race today. There are about 50 of them that have showed up. So another solid, strong performance by a lot of these drivers this week making the show. And look at Stance. Got to run, but didn't have enough to get him down there. You pull up the race map once again, and looks like Hydra's starting to get up to that group of cars again. Now, here's the thing. We know that Scottson made a mistake going through the touring car field, but these guys are going to have to go through the touring car field many, many times today, and the touring car drivers are going to have to deal with the Protos. So we'll see what happens here, as Stance took a shot to see if he could go to the inside, realized it wasn't the right time for that. Gets back in line with Yami, as these two are battling hard for that third spot. Yami, the Chevy, the lone Chevy up in the front, Outlaw in the back with the other Chevy in this lobby. Only 4 Chevy drivers in the touring car group. One of them not racing today, that'd be SFM Darkser. These guys are battling pretty good. Let's see if there's any other battles going on the track right now. Looks like 9th and 10th are still going at it between Let's Fly and SSR Outlaw. Let's Fly had a very good run last week, but just wasn't able to seal the deal. As he's trying to get himself up through the field right now, chasing down Diamond Man 2014. Let's check on the prototype drivers. Let's actually get with Hydra. He's actually getting back up into that field of touring cars. He goes to the outside of 2 of them right there. There's a Terrap and Yankee battling for that 11th and 12th spot in the touring car group. Hydra now getting up to Outlaw here. Let's get an onboard camera view of that. Oh, and he went way wide, trying to avoid it. Hydra just didn't want to lose that momentum. And he goes to the inside of Diamond Man. He's really threading these needles here. And when he gets to Proto, he'll just be able to go right by him on the straight. An onboard view here with Hydra throughout the touring car field. Let's get up to AMSB Shadow. He's going to go to the outside of him. And he's probably hitting all the right areas of the track to catch these drivers right now, as I think he'll catch Gui on the straight. This is kind of where you want to be passing these touring cars. You don't want to get stuck into the turns with them, as the third place battle between Yami and Stance is getting really good. Hydra, and Hydra, oh, he connects with Yami by mistake, and Yami looks like he came down just a little early on the touring car driver. They gave Gui an opportunity to catch up to them. Now RBM Vinny, the next car to be the victim here, and was able to get on by with ease for Hydra, as he's now going to make his way up to the final touring car driver again through the cycle. There he is, ESV Scottson, going on by Beast Shadow. Vettel, currently your third place driver. He's got RZM Breeze right on his tail though, as Breeze is going to try to make some noise here to battle for that third spot as they get into a really wacky spot. Proto letting them both by with ease. Vettel just trying to maintain pace to see if he can get up through the field. If you're Vettel, Breeze, and the rest of the touring car drivers right now, you're just hoping that the prototype drivers, you're just hoping that these touring cars will slow down the race leaders. As Breeze sneaks on by Shadow there. Shadow trying to give a little room. Jansen, currently your fifth place driver. Squeezing on by, oh, and he went way wide to avoid the touring car driver. SSR Bobbert's now up to that sixth spot. Oh, and then Cole with the big slide great job to the inside of Bobberts, but SSR Shane's right there as well. What a move by SSR Nicole. The three SSR drivers battling for position 6th, 7th, and 8th. What a move by SSR Nicole. And Bobberts right on her tailpipe as they go to the outside of Proto now. Bobberts, Nicole battling for position hard here as they are trying to avoid. And Bobberts, Bobberts had to make a little bit of a break there to avoid contacting with the touring car driver. That gave Nicole the opportunity to squeeze on by, and B Shadow letting them on by as Shane will as well get the opportunity to go through. Bobberts looks to the inside. Not enough room there to dice it. He makes a little mistake. And look, they thread the touring car. Wait, it's just like, whoa, guys. Relax just a little bit here. I'm on my own. I'm just trying to catch up to these boys in front of me. Nicole being a little patient there into the hairpin as SSR Shane and SSR Bobberts gets to catch up. Nicole to the inside of the battle. Bobberts goes off the track to the outside. These guys are trying to avoid every bit of it, but that got Shane into the mix now. Shane to the inside of Bobberts. I know he tried to, at least, I should say. And Nicole made a big mistake back there as well. It gave Bobberts the opportunity to get around. So really, really hectic racing right now from this touring car or prototype group as Vinny opens up the door to let them go on by. He wants no trouble. He's on his own right now. But Nicole, and there's a bit, I don't know what I just saw there, but they're going way around the corner. Oh! Bumping and banging. SSR Nicole and Shane knows the tail. Bobber's trying to be patient with the touring cars, and the other two said, well, if we're going to be like that, I'm going to try to make my attempt to pass here. I don't think some of these guys are ready to make the braking happen. It looks like Nicole possibly might have damage on the car. I do not want to leave the race live. Let's go check on her race car right now. No, she's okay. Shane should be fine as well. Shane working to get on Nicole now as Nicole had to give up and relinquish that 6th place spot. The SSR Bobberts, and Bobberts trying to get out of Dodge now to avoid that battle. You pull up the race map, you can see where everybody is on the racetrack. And one of the touring car or prototype drivers, MRT Joel, he had to make that early pit stop, and he's right now going through the field. So he's trying to get through and break loose. He's catching the kind of the herd of them right now. Hopefully he can get to them before getting into the corners. A lot of these touring car drivers are trying everything they can to make the space for the Protos, and the Protos doing everything they can to avoid contact with them. And as he goes to the inside of Gui, he did it without damaging any of them. And this is the best place for Joel. This is where if you're Joel right now, this is the best place you want to be on the straight. Get on by Stance there. Now he's going to try to get on by Yami. Yami opens up the inside to let Joel on by. And let's go check on some of these other drivers. Let's see how Merckx is doing. He's all by himself. He took off since the start of this race, and you can see it right there. He's got a nice little gap on Vinny as he's taking that Mercedes and singing Kumbaya and taking it to the next lap as if it was each lap of his own, making that pace work. Right now, there's not too many battles on the racetrack. It looks like a driver is into the pits. That looks like, I'm not sure. I think it's Hydra or Breeze, or Scottson, I should say. And that is actually Breeze. Breeze is in the pits. He's on a different pit cycle than everybody else. We'll see if that pays off for him. Let's go check out the battles amongst the track. 8th and 9th, SSR Ala and GTR Let's Fly. GRT Let's Fly. Battle for 12th and 11th. This has been going on since the start of since the mishap early in the race. SMXJ Yankee and Mex Zatera battling for 11th right now. it's good when you're the last car in your group and you're still in the middle of a battle with people. It always makes things a little bit more enjoyable. As the Terrap's working on SMX J Yankee right now. And we're about a half hour complete here since the start of this race. About an hour left of racing. Terrap working on the backside of the Yankee right now for that 11th spot. The Mercedes against the Audi. And we'll pull up the race map for you guys. Take a look at the racetrack real quick, see where everyone's at. Looks like Vettel had entered pit road. I believe we can check on it real quick. Yeah, that would be Vettel into the pits. And they're catching up to the back of that group of cars already. And people ask, why is it such a big difference in speed? Well, two totally different cars, two totally different engines, horsepowers, different specs on the cars. So Terrap really trying hard to get somewhere around Yankee here, but just hasn't been able to get the gap for it. As you see Hydra in the background there trying to get in and get out of this group of touring cars once again. Lost a little bit of momentum on that stretch as Hydra to the inside as a Terrap as he goes on by as well. And we got a bunch of touring cars actually in the pits right now. As let's get on board, let's see who some of these drivers are, as you know, Tora or the game allows us. One of them's AMSB Shadow, Let's Fly, Outlaw. So some drivers into the pits. Nicole Bobberts, Shane's still staying out. Looks like RD Jansen made the pit stop. Vettel and Breeze, they're still together on their own pit cycle. Vettel just trying to maintain some speed here. Trying to get on track because he's got Breeze trailing along with him. And AMSB Shadow made a mistake. He had a sim twitch during the race. As Vettel and Breeze battling there side by side on that stretch. AMSB Shadows right in front of them. Breeze and Vettel trying to get around him. Had to hit the brakes a little bit. Looks like Breeze could have maybe capitalized on it, but decided to play it safe. Outlaw to the inside of GTR Let's Fly. And they got some company along the way. Vettel to the inside. And Breeze is going to hold the brakes there. Oh, and what a horrible spot for Breeze to be in. That gives Vettel a chance to break a little bit loose for them. And these two are still racing side by side in the touring car group. SSR Outlaw to the inside of GRT. Let's fly. Let's fly now to the inside of Outlaw. Side by side through the section there. And GRT, let's fly. We'll get that. Capitalize on it. Those two are battling really hard back there. But the big loser of that whole ordeal was Breeze, unfortunately. And now he's got to try to get some pace to get back up to Vettel. And Vettel just barely snuck on through there, and he definitely made it look really interesting. So that's very cool to see. And let's see where everyone else is on the racetrack. MRT Jules still back there in the 10th spot. RBM Vinny still trailing Mercs. See how Diamond Man's doing. We haven't talked about him a whole lot. He's back in action with MEA here. Driving in the 6th spot as he's got Nicole and Shane coming up behind him now. Or, I'm sorry, Nicole and Numi. That's my fault. Numi was battling back there with Shane for a while. Now up to that 6th spot. Let's get on him for a minute. We haven't talked a whole much about Numi today. Numi was a pole sitter down in B lobby, but because of certain circumstances, he was brought up to the A lobby group. It looks like him and Nicole both are entering pit road right now, and not sure what the issue may be, but look at all these cars in here. Stance, Bobberts, looks like Proto as well, and Shane. All of them have entered the pits. There is one touring car exiting pit road right now. These are green flag pit stops. Shane exiting the pits, Stance exiting the pits. Bobberts going along with Proto there. Diamond Man. Here comes Nicole now. Numi's now exiting pit road. And some of the other drivers are actually, this is a big stop for a bunch of drivers in pit road as they are all getting new tires, some fuel, and they are off and back on the racetrack. And we'll stay on this battle right now with Nicole and Numi because these two have gotten together all of a sudden in this one in the 9th and 10th spot. Nicole currently the tail end of the prototype group. Gui, the next car to get on by. Or I'm sorry, Numi's the 10th car at the trail in the field, I'm sorry. And Gui in the way of Numi right there. Numi being super patient to get on by him. Stance holds that inside line for Nicole to get on by. Numi's got to make a decision here. Stance will give the inside lane to Numi. Let him on through, and just a lot of stuff going on in these classes right now, and you can definitely see it as it looks like MRT Jewel and Jansen are caught up into the S's with AMSP Shadow there. Oh, I'm sorry, that's Mercs, AMS Mercs. I do apologize. They're both driving that pretty purple car. Easy to mix them up, and Joel had taken the earliest pit stop between all the prototype drivers, and he's to the inside of Jansen side by side. Into the corner as they go up to the final chicane here. Jansen's got the lead right there going into it. Joel got to hit the brakes just a little bit. Sim twishy a little bit right there. Still battling to the inside of Jansen, but had to relinquish it again. To the outside though, and he wasn't able to close the deal, and they're still battling for race position. I believe that's SSR Bobbers behind them. And that is him. I can see his gamer tag. To the inside, Joel trying to stick his nose in there. Jansen's doing a pretty good job holding his lines, keeping himself intact as they get up to SSR Yami in the touring car group. It looks like Bobberts is bringing somebody with him as well. I believe that is, yes, that is SSR Shane. As look at this nose, the tail going on by Yami there. To the inside, MRT Joel. Jansen overshot the corner. And Joel moves up to that 5th place spot. Jansen did it all right until that point. He overdrove the corner, getting that inside and open lane for Joel. Joel now up to the race leading touring car driver. Vinny almost barely got out of the way there as they went on by him. Bobberts squeezing on through as well. Bobberts is actually catching up to these two. And let's get a view from Bobberts' point of view here because he's really cooking behind these guys. Shane as well. You see Vinny right there just trying to stay out of harm's way. 22 drivers still on the racetrack right now. Looks like Saterip had finally passed Yankee during that pit cycle. The only driver still off the racetrack right now, BRBM Play Hard, after a disconnection earlier in the race. As we are about 50 plus minutes left in this one. Bobbert's right there trailing the back end of RDE Jansen. He's got SSR Shane trying to tag along with him, but Shane's not able to keep that momentum. Bobbert's now working on RDE Jansen for that 6th spot. As Joel is starting to kind of distance himself from Jansen. And Bobberts looked like he was trying to take a look to the inside there, going into the hairpin. Wasn't able to do it, got back in line, nose to tail. A 3-car battle, but really it's the battle for 6th, and Bobberts trying to squeeze to the outside, but Jansen closes it. Bobberts looks to the inside. Nothing there. Can he stick his nose down? No, he cannot. Still has to remain behind Jansen. He's trying to get some speed here to get on by him to find that open gap. Jansen looked like he got a nice little run through that little section there. Bobberts looks to the inside. Just cannot find the lane. Hydra still your race leader in front of EFC Scottson, Jim Venel, RZM Breeze. Those are your 1 through 4 in the prototype group. Right now we're watching the 5th, 6th, 7th place battle. And then behind them is 8th place SSR Shane with Nicole and Numi, 9th and 10th behind them. Bobberts all over the back bumper of Jansen. Bobberts working hard here. Goes to the inside. The door opens, but they go up to the chicane. Jansen has the advantage. Jansen able to hold on to it there, but Bobberts got a nice little bit of speed there. And Bobberts a little wide, and he's still a little wide, and loses a little bit of time on Jansen there. Meanwhile, SSR Shane watching from behind. He's slowly reeling in that gap between these two. Riding on the roof with SSR Bobberts here. Pull up the race map as well. You can see where they are on the racetrack. Hydra back into the field of touring car drivers as well, as Scottson is now just catching the tail end of the group. Scottson made that early mistake going through the little S section when he got with one of the touring car drivers. Spun him around, but has kind of rebounded ever since. And let's get on a battle. Looks like a battle for 4th, 3rd, and 4th. Looks like Stanson finally caught back up to Yami as we're on board with SSR Yami right now in the touring car group. He's got RD Gui right behind them as well. Little tire smoke there. You can see RB and Vinny still in front of them. As below the map, Merck's all alone, and he's just checked out of this one. And there's Hydra again. Goes to the inside, squeezing on in there with Yami. Yami just giving barely enough room as he's trying not to lose too much ground on Stance here. As Stance had repassed him, Stance easily led on by Hydra. RD Gui lost a little bit of time, it looks like. And further back, SSR Outlaw looks like he's defending 8th spot against AMSB Shadow. And it looks like GRT Let's Fly still in the mix as well. Battle for 8th right now in the touring car group. Outlaw and Beast Shadow. Beast Shadow goes to the inside, makes the pass on Outlaw. And look like that, it's Vettel. Vettel and Breeze has shown up. Oh! And Vettel clips to the back end of Beast Shadow. And B Shadow trying to hold on to the car. And Breeze got a nice run through there as well. We are on roof view right now, if you haven't noticed. And hopefully B Shadow didn't get any damage from that, as he's got SSR Outlaw right there. GRT Let's Fly right on the bumper of Outlaw. And it's three-car touring car battle between B Shadow, SSR Outlaw, GRT Let's Fly. Three drivers, three different teams, battling in the touring car division. B Shadow's trying to gain a little bit of momentum. Here comes Joel. Joel to the inside of all three of them, and Outlaw clips the back end of B Shadow, but that was very fortunate. Look at this battle! Shane dive bombs RD Jansen. Jansen able to hold on to it. Bomber to the inside of Outlaw and B Shadow as he goes on by. And Shane made a mistake. Oh my gosh, Shane, what are you doing, man? And Shane, what a wild ride for him. He made a huge mistake. Somehow managed to hold on to it, but golly, he almost made a horrible, horrible decision trying to cut back into the racetrack. SSR Nicole to the outside of the touring car. Squirrel threads the nettle right between MSB Shadow and SSR Outlaw. The prototype drivers are not giving any bit of edge. They know that they have to get through this field, and they're doing everything they can to not only avoid them, but not to wreck them. As the touring car drivers are just trying to hold their lines and make the best of it. They've made it really, really, really difficult. But fortunately, at Silverstone, there are a little bit of open slots for some of these drivers to kind of spread themselves out. As here comes SSR Numi. Numi spins out into the tire wall! And Outlaw clips the tire wall as well! A big mistake by SSR Numi. And Numi got the bad end of that, and he's now got to go catch right back up through the field. What a mistake. What a big change of events for some of these drivers. This Outlaw got clipped by Numi, it looked like. Numi just was on the inside. I don't think Outlaw knew he was there, and they clipped just barely, which spun Numi around into the tire wall, and because of that offsetting Outlaw then had to kind of regain himself a little bit, as he also clipped the back end of his car into the tire wall, but he was able to hold on to the car. No damage between the two drivers, though they are teammates. You gotta wonder what's going through their minds. And Numi to the outside of Outlaw this time, as he says, hey, I didn't mean it, buddy. And Numi to the inside of GRT Let's Fly. And now AMSB Shadow. And this is getting extremely hectic for some of these drivers, as ESC Scottson and Jim Hydra. Let's see who has the fastest lap of the race right now as we ride along with Hydra here. Oh, we can't see that. It doesn't allow us. It just tells us the time back between each driver. And RZ and Breeze got in front of Vettel. We got a battle for third place right now in the prototype group. We know that Breeze has been slowly tracking down Vettel. Vettel just got to the inside! Look at the move by Vettel! Over Breeze for that third place spot! Swapping positions. And Vettel and Breeze right now battling for that position. still battling. Breeze did a lot of work to get up to get to Vettel, but has relinquished the third place spot. As we pull up the race map to take a look at how the field spread out so far, and you see right there, Hydra down there, getting ready to get another lap in by himself. Scottson, looks like Scott's been slowly reeling him in a little bit. There's still about 40 plus minutes left in this race. A lot can happen, and right now we got a battle for third and fourth between Vettel and Breeze. We got Scottson trying to track down Hydra. We got a couple of drama-filled sections here, as looks like some of the prototypes just got through second and third in the touring car division. .22 drivers still on the racetrack. See where Numi is in this bunch. Oh. We have a driver lag out. SSR Nicole is out of this race now. Not sure what happened to her. Vettel starting to distance himself a little bit from Breeze there, but now back on the Hydra as he gets back to the tail end of the field. The Terrap losing Jay Yankee. Those two were very close for the longest time in this race. Just squeezing onto the inside of Yankee right there. Now his next car he's working on is SSR Outlaw. And he might catch him as they're getting into the turn. I'm not sure here, but Hydra's one to take chances. And oh! GRT Let's Fly makes a mistake! Looks like he's lost the car just a little bit there. That brings Outlaw back into the mix with him. MSB Shadow currently in front of Hydra. Hydra able to go to the outside. Lisa says, oh, hey, get on by. Scottson running in that second spot now as he's catching the tail end of the group. He's actually catching probably them in the best part of the racetrack right now. Go from the front to the back stretch there. Jay Yankee holds his line. Scottson gets on by there. We get on Vettel again and see how things are going here between him and Breeze. You see them still battling for race position right now, third and fourth, as we go through the field of drivers. Breeze losing him just a little bit right there. There's SSR Bobberts running in that fifth spot, all on his lonesome. RDE Jansen back up to the sixth spot as he tries to get back inside the top five. SSR Shane, up and down day for him. All alone. MRT Joel with the early pit stop. He had another pit stop recently, which has put him back to that eighth spot, and he's got SSR Numi right behind him. And then SSR Nicole had lagged out of this one, so now we can go and check on the touring car group, as here's your race leader right now, AMS Merckx, and he is all on his own out there. What a amazing qualifying time for him. Amazing start. Has not looked back yet, and he's been running his own race since the very beginning. RBM Vinny, as Hydra gets on by him, running in that second spot right now. In front of his teammate, RBM Stance. SSR Yami looks to the inside of Stance. We still got these two battling. These two have been battling since the very beginning of this race. Stance and Yami have not let up on each other at all. As you can see, RD Wee back there in that fifth spot. But these two have been going at it. Yami almost puts the sand there. Gui right here behind them. RD Brito, his teammate, currently in 6th, just had Scottson go by him. 7th, Diamond Man 2014, all alone on himself, but he's got someone tracking him down, and it's this man, AMSB Shadow, after a sim twitch early in the race. He's got Vettel coming up to him now. Best place for Vettel to get on by right here. Breeze as well. Breeze is starting to lose ground. I wonder if Vettel made a mistake. Oh, and Breeze is barely nicking the corner of his car. 9th place, GRT Let's Fly. He has SSR Outlaw right there in 10th. These two have been battling since the very beginning of the race. Started in the back of the pack with each other, and ever since have not really distanced from one another, so it's been very interesting to watch these two. But Outlaw has gotten as far up as about 9th in this race after losing the 9th place spot to B Shadow, and then obviously the little incident between him and SSR Numi lost him about 2 positions, and now he's back up battling with Let's Fly as Bobberts gets on by them. And then further back is SMX J Yankee as Jans and Shane go on by him. He's been in battle with this man back here. MEX is a Terrap, last week's top 5 finisher, and a little bit more of a field this week, and he's just trying to do his best to get the most points possible. And then obviously RBM Play Hard had lagged out, so 2 drivers in both classes, or I should say 1 driver in both classes had lagged out, leaving a total of 21 cars on the racetrack right now. But let's get back up to the battle for 3rd between Stance and Yami in the touring car group. They're still going at it. Side by side. Yami's doing everything he can. He's got the better acceleration, I believe, amongst these 2 cars. The Honda's been very strong here, though the Mercedes has been the strongest since the start of this race. And Vettel to the outside of both of them makes light work of it. Yami stands still side by side. And there goes Breeze to the outside of them. And the weird thing about this whole thing is RBM Vinny now is starting to lose his gap between him and his teammate and Yami. Yami and Stance have been driving so hard, it looks like they're actually catching up to Vinny. I wonder if Vinny has a problem. Hold on a second here. Oh, Vinny doesn't have a problem. He just lost the pace a little bit. MS Merckx has been so dominant since the beginning of this race, though. I mean, he has checked out. You pull up the race map, you can see right there, he's crossing the start line. These guys are just now getting into the final chicane, and he's been lights out since the start of this race. And you see right there, a couple prototypes coming on through again. And Yami this time is on the inside. RD Gui, however, he's slowly catching up to these guys. What a battle we got going on here for that 3rd place spot. And side by side. Woo-wee. These guys are making it look real easy, but it's not that easy, guys. And they're making very, very good work of what they got as Yami gets right back in line behind him. while this battle has kind of dwindled down just a little bit, let's go check out other battles within the racetrack. See if there's anything going on back here. Nothing. Between SSR Shane and RD Jansen, though, right now they're battling. Well, they're within range of each other, I should say. To ride along the rear camera of Jansen. As you can see, SSR Shane right there trying to track him down. Ooh, a little bit of a mistake there. So Jansen decides to take the pit stop. That'll get Bobberts the on-go on-by here in a minute. Or at least I would believe so. You pull up that race map, and a few drivers are actually in the pits right now. Breeze, Vettel, Jansen. Hydra's actually going through the touring car field right now. Goes on by Let's Fly. And Let's Fly, he's by himself because Outlaw had made a pit stop. And it looks like it's that time again for drivers to make pit stops, as we've seen some of the Protos, some of the touring cars. There's another couple of drivers are entering the pits as well. RD Brito into the pits. Let's see if Let's Fly makes the decision to go in. And Let's Fly will go into pit road. So he's now making a pit stop. SMJ Yankee will stay out on the racetrack with Mixatera. Looks like Numi is into the pits now as well. Or no, that is Hydra, or Scottson, I do apologize, Scottson. He's into the pits right now, and he's been running very good since his early mistakes. Just trying to get that car back in the groove, see if he can get some ground on Hydra. Shane is still out on the racetrack, and he's currently running third, but he's going to have to make a pit stop here as soon as well, and he's going to stay out. And Yami had taken over that third spot from Stance. I wonder how long these two are going to stay out on the racetrack. The tires are starting to get worn out, and we talked about last week how the battle for these divisions is different. The touring car group, it's not so much the fuel mileage as it is tire wear being an issue. For the prototype drivers, it's all about gas. And if we've paid attention to the last week's race and this week's race, these touring cars will pit mainly when the tires start to become kind of unbearable. For the touring cars, they just go in around 20% gas, 20% fuel. They run about 15-20% when they decide that they want to pit. I think some of their fuel makes a little bit of a change here, and these two both stay out again. The way that some of these guys have been racing, they've all been on different pit strategies, so it's been really interesting to watch. A little fun fact about last week's race: all the touring car drivers in the A lobby made about 2 to 3 pit stops. The B lobby drivers all pretty much made a 1 pit stop, so it tells you the difference between the driving styles amongst the two different lobbies. Looked like Yami made a little mistake there, but Stance an opportunity to take a look at least, but Stance still running the back end of Yami. Yami and Stance are both trying to catch up to Vinny, who is trying to get away from them. These two have been seeing each other a lot this race, and Yami didn't see anybody last week. He was all on his own, A couple of these guys weren't here. Stance, Merckx, Vinny, Play Hard. He had Gui and Proto, but those two had a couple of issues last week. And Yami didn't make many mistakes. He was all on his own. And this week, he's been battling for his life, trying to make things happen. And Stance has made it really, really difficult for him. And he's doing a phenomenal job racing here today as well. Everyone knows about RBM Stance and how consistent of a driver he can be. As he's been battling really hard with Yami. Yami not getting a good run through the S's there. But they're really starting to gain on Vinny. I mean, it's on and off, and they'll be running behind each other. They'll catch up to Vinny. They'll battle each other. Vinny gets away. So it's been really interesting to watch these two go. And Stance will take the pit stop. So Stance is entering pit road. That will leave Yami on his own onto the racetrack, which means Yami will probably make a pit stop next time around. Diamond Man 2014 will at least take over a position. It looks like we lost another driver in the race. Hopefully that is not the case. As we go through the list of drivers here right now, and we're about to find out. And Jay Yankee had lagged out of the race. Oh, man. That's so unfortunate for Yankee. He was doing so well. He battled really hard against Zaterra. And he is the third driver within about 25 minutes left. And what a horrible time to get this continued here. But there's another driver in the prototypes that had been disconnected as well. I believe that was MRT Joel. And it was Joel had disconnected or something as well, so not sure what's happened to him, but he's now out of this one. So 2 drivers in both classes are gone. That leaves 19 on the racetrack. Started with 23. There's Shane going to the inside of Diamond Man. There's Scottson going through Yami and Vinny, and Yami's starting to catch up to Vinny a little bit here. And just note, post-race interviews after the race, Vinny decided to make a pit stop. That leaves Yami on the racetrack. Diamond Man will as well stay out for another lap. There's RBM Stance. Made his previous pit stop a lap before. RD Gui right behind him, and I don't believe he made his pit stop. He must have, and Gui's caught up to Stance. And you can see Vinny right there popping out. And Gui had made a pit stop, it looks like a little bit earlier than Stance and Yami and Vinny did. Yami is still out on the racetrack. Vinny come out with cold tires, and Shane bumping into Gui. Not what we expected, and you gotta think about what's going on here. Some of these protos today, it really they're doing their best to avoid them, but some of the decisions that have been made have just been costly for some of these other drivers, and you gotta wonder if the MEA officials will want to review that after today's race. But Stance now battling with Vinny. Teammate against teammate, Stance against Vinny. And Vinny and Stance nose to tail. I believe Yammy's still out on the racetrack. He is. He stayed out. AMS Mercs is in the pits, or was in the pits. That just tells you how big of a gap AMS Mercs has had since the beginning of this one. Diamond Man 2014 still out on the racetrack, but he is now entering pit road and deciding it's best to get that car all back up and refresh. Gui trying to rebound from the little incident with him and SSR Shane. As these three will go on by Diamond Man. So Vinny getting a little distance on his teammate Stance there. You pull up the race map, you can see where Yammy is. And Yammy, he's still out on the racetrack as Numi went on by them. Oh, that wasn't Numi. I don't know why Numi's over there. I thought they were giving me a first place for Numi. But Numi's actually getting up through this field of cars here. He's actually getting into the top tier battle of the touring car group right now. He goes to the outside of Gui. He's caught up to Stance into the S's, and Stance will let him on by there. Numi gets on by Vinny. Yammy is staying out again, really pushing to wear those tires. And he's got AMS Mercs, who's just been lights out since the beginning of this race. Alien Motorsports driver, representing his team proudly and well, and his other teammate, AMSP Shadow, he's back there in 8th. Now he's still hunting down Diamond Man 2014, and he made an earlier mistake in this race that cost him a little bit, but he's been slowly reeling in Diamond Man ever since the beginning of this one. And a battle for 3rd and 4th still between RZM Breeze and Jim Vettel. These two are still going at it. They haven't really distanced from one another. And you can see Hydra up here. There's Scottson. He's kind of in the best spot he could be in right now as he sees the battle of AMSB Shadow and Diamond Man, I should say. My bad. Get on with them as that battle has been slowly developing as there goes Scottson right on by these two. Scottson goes to the inside. Hits right on by Diamond Man 2014. And now we have a battle for 7th in the touring car division. Be Shadow on the back end of Diamond Man, looking to make his move somewhere in the midst here. AMSB Shadow really working hard as we get down to the last about 15 minutes here. The race almost to a close. B Shadow spinning the tires a little bit there. And Yami is still out on the racetrack. He's got Mercs coming. So Yami, last week's race winner, still on the racetrack. You gotta wonder if he's trying to make it to the end with what he's got. And here comes one of the Protos now. That's the race leader, Hydra. Mercs knows that he's got to get around Yami. If Yami's going to try to go to distance here, he's going to make it really difficult, though, because his tire wear is up to about 85%. You can see the car is actually fighting a lot of what's going on here. As you pull up the race map, you can see how far he is between the two RBM drivers, but you got to think Yami's going to have to make a pit stop here, because with the last about 10 to 12 minutes of this race, he's really going to make it difficult on himself, and he is staying out on the racetrack again, still fighting. Here's a race battle for the lead. Last week's winner, SSR Yami. AMS Mercs, who's been dominant since the start of this race. Yami, who's looking like he's going to push this car to the end, is currently holding off AMS Mercs. Mercs sitting right on him. Sitting right on him. To the right, you can see the tire wear up to 85% in the front. Yami's really making this difficult for himself, but he knows what's at stake here. He's going to try everything he can to keep the car on the racetrack. And the Mercedes looks like it might got a little bit more of a pole. ESB Scottson showing up into the mix now. And Scottson threads the needle between Mercs and Yami. And you can just see the difference in wear for Mercs. It looks like Mercs just gave himself, I don't know, or just being weird. Like transmission and engine damage, but it's flirting back and forth, so we can't really get a good determination of that yet. Mercs looks like he's got a really good run, and he does. Mercs to the inside. Yami tried closing the door on him. Couldn't do it. Side by side. Yami still to the inside of Mercs. Yami able to squeeze his nose still down there. Mercs is trying. Yami's car. Oh, but we have a disconnect. Not sure who. It was AMS. No, it was SSR Yami. I don't know who it was. I don't know who it was. It was AMS Mercs. AMS Mercs, who was so dominant in this race. So Yami's still out there as he drives up to 90% tire wear. What a change of events. And just like that, this has completely changed everything. Vinny, Stance, still out there. And Yami's fighting the car deeply. He has to enter pit road. He will. No, he stays out. We just got confirmation. AMS Mercs had lagged out of the race. And he cannot drive the car. He cannot drive the car. He made a huge mistake. Vinny is going to look to go for the lead now. Yami's just fighting the car at this point. Vinny! He's looking for the race lead! And Yami off the racetrack. He has no traction. And Vinny to the lead. And what a horrible time for SSR Yami to have mistakes. The car does not turn at all. RD Gui will get on by him now. Gui coming on by. Yami made one of the biggest mistakes. He tried to take the car to the end of the race. Numi, whoa, to the outside. Numi really went wild through that section. So Gui goes on by him. Brito goes on by him. And next two drivers, it looked like B-Shadow finally got by Diamond Man 2014 for that 6th spot. We're near the last minutes of this race, and Yami is in a horrible position right now. He has to get the car into the pits and get it back out on the racetrack to salvage some time in it. And you can see Yami not, oh, B-Shadow overdrives the corner. Diamond Man to the inside. He picks up the 5th and 6th spots. And Yami, he has to go to the pits, and Yami enters pit road at this time, and that leaves AMS B-Shadow and Diamond Man into battling territory. So GRT Let's Fly, he's gonna come on by, take position away from him as well. Vexaterip, who's apparently got on by Outlaw. I wonder what happened to SSR Outlaw as he's out there still on the racetrack. See Vettel right there in that 3rd place spot. So Yami's going to be coming out of the pits, but he lost a ton of spots. And Yami drops all the way back to 10th. So RBM, Vinny, and Stance, your 1st and 2nd place drivers right now in touring cars. This has gotten very, very hectic very early. Let's go check on Breeze, see how he's doing. He's right there in the 4th spot. Bobbers is actually right behind him. Can Bobberts get up there to battle Breeze now? Breeze is driving this car all the way down to about 30% fuel. I don't think any of the Protos need to make a final pit stop. Let's go check on the race leader, Jim Hydra. He's good to go to the end. Scottson should be good to the end. Vettel, he's on the same strategy as Breeze. And oh, Vettel clips one of the touring car drivers. He gets loosened into the wall trying to go around them. What a good save by Vettel not to let the car get any more damage as possible. He's just trying to salvage that third place spot to the end now, so he doesn't need to make too many drastic decisions here as the driver, you know, but he's definitely got to be careful as he gets right back into the mix of these drivers again. He's right aboard with Jim Vettel. He's going to go to the inside of Beast Shadow, the inside of Diamond Man. So he gets right on by those two. And Diamond Man playing defense mode right now against AMSP Shadow. Shadow bumps to the back corner panel of Diamond Man side by side into the hairpin. Let's take a look here, see how far Yami got fallen back. Yami is out of range to battle anybody right now. So right now we got a nice little battle here as Breeze scoops on by. Beast Shadow bumps right into him. Side by side, a nudge to nudge. Bobberts threads the needle. Diamond Man back to the inside of Beast Shadow. They bump again. They're bumping and banging. These two are battling so hard right now. Beast Shadow looks like he has the speed around the corner. Are they going to be able to hold it? Still side by side. Beast Shadow got the edge, and he'll take over the 5th place spot now. Can he distance himself from Diamond Man? We are near the last few minutes of this race, ladies and gentlemen. Hydra has done everything since the start of this race to run a clean race away from everybody. He's done just that. AMS Mercs with the unfortunate circumstances as RBM Vinny has taken over that lead. As SSR Shane gets on by them. And look at this, Diamond Man looks to the inside of Beast Shadow. It looks like we might be on this battle to the very end. Only a few minutes, if that remains. And you see R.D. Jansen. He's there as well now. He's going to go to the inside. He gets on by Diamond Man. Gets on by Beast Shadow. This race has had a lot of different situations today. It's been very wild to watch. A lot of battles, a lot of unfortunate disconnects. A guy leading, dominating the race. And then with only about 10, 15 minutes left, disconnects. Then Yami, with the overuse of tire wear, not only lost the lead, but gave up every other position that was still on the racetrack. Beast Shadow, who's been fighting back since the Sim Twitch, cracking himself back into the top 5. Still battling, though, with Diamond Man 2014. We've seen RZM Breeze and Jim Vettel battle quite a bit today. Nicole, Bowers, and Shane. P-Lobby results are in. Jams won Touring, Inc. won Proto. Congratulations to the P-Lobby winners. So we're near the very end here. Still waiting on C-Lobby results. And that's it, I believe. Be Shadow Rex. And that's it for this one. As we bring up the final race results here, Jim Hydra and RBM Vinny, your two winners in the Proto and Touring Car class. And we will get these guys in here momentarily to talk to them for post-race interviews coming up next. And we'll get these guys in here momentarily to talk to them and have them give their thoughts on today's race and how things went as we get them all in here. And I believe that is the top 5 of the prototype group. And we'll see if we can get Stance and Vinny. Not sure if they're going to be able to really give us their take on today's race, but we'll get them in here as well. We'll get Burrito. I believe those two are 3rd and 4th. And AMSB Shadow cracking the top 5. We pull up these results one more time. Yes, so we need Burrito as well. Just stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get post-race interviews off here in just a moment as we get all the drivers in here. And I believe we have Vettel and B Shadow so far. Just getting the rest of them in here momentarily. And we'll begin the final results.
Terribly sorry if anyone was offended.
And if anybody is just now joining the lobby or party, please use the audio to check off so that we can hear you. We'll get the rest of these race results here in a minute. And we'll get started here, as I don't think we'll be able to get the two guys from RBM probably talk, so we'll just go about it. All right, so we're going to begin with AMSB Shadow out of the touring car class, finishing 5th here today. And Beast, we saw that early in the race you had a mistake. You said that you actually reported in that you had a sim twitch. You were able to fight your way back up through the field to get a top 5, and you battled very close there at the end with Diamond Man. How hard was it to get back up to the top 5?
It was quite hard because you really have to, because there's no mandatory pit strategy does play a lot. And also just the rest of like money, he absolutely up pretty well. And yeah, I was on pace with Gui. I was really trying to catch him, but obviously once I spun, that's pretty much gone. And I had a good battle with Outlaw, and then they had a bit of a coming together with one of his teammates in the prototype class, I think. And then Needian with Diamond Man just had a really good battle. It was really good. Just had a good battle.
And you know, you guys were definitely battling there at the end. Other than that, I mean, we know you weren't here last week, obviously, but making your presence here this week, how tough was it out there? I know there's a lot of sketchy moments between the touring cars and the protos, and how was it for you being on the end of trying to keep an eye on who's coming from behind?
You know, I try to look as much as possible, and usually you can see them coming. We communicate in the party as well. If we see a couple coming, we'll just like tell them we've got a couple coming up. And sometimes you can catch it, but sometimes you will just be looking for a corner and they'll just come flying past you, or have them come to the back of you, and it's hard to sort of predict where each one's going to go. And sometimes you both try and move it out the wrong way and just go into each other.
Well, congratulations on a top 5 finish. I know the other guys don't speak any English, so they're not in the party right now. But to wrap up the touring car group, RD Burrito finished 4th. Kind of a quiet race for him. RD Gui was battling up and down got as close as to the battle for the lead, but unfortunately with a touring car incident that dropped him back a little bit of ways and wasn't able to rebound since then. RBM Stance battled with SSR Yami for the longest time. Obviously Yami making a mistake will give him that second place finish, and then RBM Vinny rounds out your win after an unfortunate disconnect with AMS Mercs, who dominated this race. So congratulations to RBM Vinny, your touring car winner. As we move up the list, and once again, make sure your guys' audio is on. SSR Bobberts, a top 5 finish for you this week, and it was not easy for the longest time before the end there. You were in battles with Shane, Nicole, and all sorts of different scenarios. How difficult was this race for you today? Because it seemed like you had a lot of things going on for the first half of the race.
Yeah, like I said, the second half of the race was fairly quiet until I realised that I was about to run out of fuel, so I had to coast on the last lap. I was maintaining pace with Dan or Breeze for quite a lot when he made his mistake, but yeah, so I had to fuel save at the end, so luckily I kept my 5th place. But yeah, the first half of the race was just abysmal. Had a couple of taps with Jewel just because of our different lines, and when we both lost a few positions, I didn't even touch him. It was clearly like a bubble of some form. I've no idea, but I had the pace. With Vettel, obviously with his issues that he had in that race, and with Breeze. So I thought I could have had a better result than 5th. But I guess to recover from being as low as 8th at one point to get back into 5th, it was okay, I guess. But it was a very difficult race.
Well, congratulations, Bobberts, on a top 5 finish. Obviously, the last 2 weeks, been very fortunate to get in that top 5, but you've been working very hard to getting there. So congratulations, cracking once again into the top 5.
Thank you.
And 4th place finisher, RZM Breeze, first time appearance this year, first time in the series. We didn't see you last week, but Breeze back in action in MEA, and you didn't disappoint. You started out really good. Then obviously as the race went along, you and Nicole had a couple of battles. Then you and Vettel there for the longest time. You guys swapped a couple of times, but you guys never really gave an inch of one another. It was definitely keeping you guys busy. And with that battle being said, how tough was it for both of you from your perspective? Not only having the battle really close, but there was one point in the race, Breeze, you and Vettel got right behind two of the touring cars battling for position. You actually hit the brakes as Vettel got underneath both of them. And you lost a little bit of time, was able to kind of regroup from that. But how tough was that for you today, not only battling with Vettel, but having to go through the field?
Yeah, it was good fun, really. Wasn't tough. Just enjoyed chasing Vettel for a bit. Had the braking line problem as well, so kind of helped me to stay with it.
And Breeze, we haven't seen you since last year, and how's it feel to get back in the car? I don't recall you being in any series recently, so I know you got in, you did a qualifier with the stock tune, but were you able to get a tune on that car for today's race?
Yeah, Vettel helped me out with the tune, so I was much quicker in the race. Really helped out.
Well, congratulations, Breeze, on a top 5 finish, and hope to see you back for the rest of the season.
Cheers, thanks.
And Vettel, not only are you back into the top 3 once again this week, but a new name with a new team, same name but different team. And Vettel, a little bit of a struggle for you today in the beginning, but were able to kind of get pace, and then you battled with Breeze for the longest time. And at the end there, you actually clipped with looked like Beast Shadow there. We were able to save the car with no damage to finish out strong, but it looked like your race was a little bit difficult today as well. But how much fun were you having battling with Breeze?
Yeah, no. Lots of fun battling Breeze. It's always a pleasure. He's one of those names, that anyone would really love to battle with. But yeah, no. Starting off on the formation lap, I guess I had braking line issues, but I had a lot of people assuring me it wasn't. And then going into turn 1 on the first lap, my braking line was completely red, so I had a TCC braking line, which ended up more being a distraction than anything. So the whole first stint, I was probably cutting corners or extending a lot because I didn't know where the points were, had to turn off the line. Ended up being a 1-hour RC practice session, and I definitely felt the pace better and better throughout the race. I had to learn cops and maggots and beckets. It's not just the points that were throwing me off, but it's also where you have to steer as well. But I was really happy, especially in the after I pitted for my second time. I was able to hold with Hydra and Scott up until the incident with Beast Shadow, which, yeah, I mean, I thought he was giving me the space on the outside, and he just, yeah, I mean, I think I had quite a bit of issues trying to get past him, so, yeah, it's a bit unfortunate, but really, considering this was a damage limitation round, I'm super happy with 3rd place. and yeah, just happy experiencing a
Right, and you know,
not
talk
yeah.
about the issues you said you are having with the braking line. That's obviously something we really don't have control of at all for any of us. You were able to kind of adapt through that, but you know, it seemed like for you guys in the prototypes, Vettel, getting through the touring car field was kind of a challenge for a lot of the race, especially in the slower sections of the track. And being one of those people that had the braking line issue, how much more difficult did that make it for you? Because there, like I said, there was a moment where you literally dived right underneath everybody, and Breeze had to kind of hit the brakes. But going through the touring car field in certain sections, that had to be a lot harder. It looks like we might have lost Vettel. Oh, there he is. I don't know if you heard the question, Vettel, but go ahead. Basically, all I said was because you had the issues. How much more difficult was it for you to go through the touring car field with the issues you were having with that braking line?
It was that much of an issue. Yeah, I think with the touring cars, they actually take a point of reference,
Mm-hmm.
so it's like it's not that bad. You just know not to hit them, so or to stay on your line. Again, it was more just like the fast sneakers and comps. I spent at least like an hour. Started using it consistently a lot. But yeah, wasn't that bad.
Well, another top 3 finish. I'm sure you're happy about that with the circumstances, and obviously 4 weeks still to go. A lot of racing left, and obviously a couple of the other drivers had some issues. A couple of drivers lagged out. Going into next week, I actually not sure what we race next week, but has your confidence kept building the last 2 races? With you talk about how you were kind of unsure about last week. Was the confidence there this week, and is it going to continue to build up as the season progresses?
Outline, considering I didn't put many laps into this. I mean, I think that's a confidence booster, not just for this context, but maybe in like competitions where no line is required. So that's a confidence boost. But I mean, yeah, just to have a braking line issue and not really demonstrate my full pace, it's slightly annoying because you come into this wanting to fight for a win when you know you have the pace to, and you have something like that that just completely derails that. So we'll see what happens next week. Hopefully, we have a bit better luck.
Well, congratulations again, and we'll see you next week, Vettel, as the season progresses. So, once again, good job today. And rounding and going up one more here before we get to the race winner of the prototype group, that's ESV Scottson. And Scottson, you had one of those races again where you got into a little bit of a mishap, and I do remember it was about the right-hander before the S's. Did you clip one of the touring car drivers, and how much did that affect your race? And were you able to kind of regain that pace once after that happened? It seemed like you were fine once that all played out.
I knew that with the first lap, I knew that Hydra had more pace for the way he set up his car. He was disabled on him, but I did head into the back of the touring car, unfortunately, which set us back very significantly.
Mm-hmm. And
Just
go ahead.
catch up, but it wasn't really progressing anyway.
Well, you didn't lose much time after that. Obviously, the going through the field was always difficult. It's also, some of you guys were really trying to make it where you weren't going to hit nobody. But going into next week, obviously, you follow up with a win prior to this race, and finishing runner-up isn't bad, especially to somebody like Hydra who's right there with you. So hopefully next week a little bit better without any issues. But congratulations on a top 2 finish. And real quick for you, was there any point of the race that was difficult for you going through the field? As it seemed like for some of the other drivers in your class.
Maggots and Beckett's definitely.
Maggots and Beckett's.
The last section as well.
Well, once again, congratulations, Scottson, on another strong performance. As finishing second, it's not that bad. All right, and the race winner, Jim Hydra. And Hydra, after you pulled off the race lead there, you never looked back, and obviously the little mistake by Scottson, it left you all to yourself. You were flying through the field, and it didn't seem like you had many moments of worry, but from your perspective, just how did the race go for you today?
I enjoyed it. A few little mishaps. That's why it was kind of the main one. Coming into slow, you just got to turn across and got lost like 3 seconds, so nothing too major, but yeah, pretty much fine. Other than that.
And obviously coming off of a rough week for you. Last week was definitely not a week you'd like to remember, but how much better was it for you this week than it was last week, and what was the difference?
The difference was just that, I don't know. I don't, just not many people got in my way this time. I just actually there for once.
Well, congratulations, Hydro, you former champion in MEA, and looking to try to get another one here in this series. You and Scottston are going to be doing a lot of battling, and Vettel being right there as well. How difficult do you think this series is going to be to win the title this season?
I think it's going to be extremely difficult because Scottston arguably, or I'd say is the best pro driver in the world at the moment, so it's going to be quite difficult.
Well, congratulations, Hydra, on your win here today at Silverstone. We're looking forward to seeing you next week.
Thank you.
And for the rest of you watching, we appreciate you here with us as Week 2 is now in the books. RBM Vinny getting his first win on the season with us in his first race at MEA after a mishap between AMS Mercs and obviously the unfortunate circumstances for Yami trying to make it to the end and obviously ruining his entire race. But Hydra picks up the win in the prototype group. Congratulations to him. We'll see you in week number 3, same time, same place here at MEA. Thank you all for watching and have a great night.